This is lesson 1 for linear equations, and it is a introduction to our unit, so some key vocabulary, etc. So our first vocabulary word is coefficient, and coefficient is a number in front of multiplied to the letter or the variable. So over here I have two examples and I have highlighted underneath the coefficient. So coefficient is the number in front of the variable, and the operation for that is multiplication. Then we have constants. Constants are a fixed value or a number by itself without a letter, and these are examples of constants. Third, we have infinitely many solutions. We'll be talking about this more towards the end of the unit, but when any value for the variable makes the equation true, because our focus is linear equations for this unit, so what it looks like is a true statement, like 3 equals 3. And if that doesn't make any sense to you now, that's okay. We're going to be going over that for quite a while later on. Next, we have like terms. These are going to be some of the first things we're talking about in this unit. Like terms are terms whose variables and exponents are the same. So, for example, 5x squared and negative 9x squared, the variables are both x and the exponents are both 2's, so these are like terms. If I was going to combine these like terms, I would get negative 4x squared. Down here, 3y and 7y have matching y's, so the variables match, and they have matching exponents, which here is an invisible 1. And so 3y and 7y, if I were to combine those, I would have 10y's. Then we have no solution to an equation, and that's when no value for the variable makes the equation true, and you know that there's no solution when you end up with something that's false, like 5 equal to 4. Then we have variables. Variables should be written in script, which is kind of like an italicized letter, and it is a symbol, a letter such as X, that represents an unknown value. So that's what we use in our linear equations to represent a quantity that we don't know how much is being used. Then this is very important. So I'm going to scroll up. And expressions versus equations. This is a very confusing thing to people. So let's take a good look at this one. Okay. So if I'm tearing apart this 3x plus 5 equals 20, I see all the different little pieces here. 3 is the coefficient. It's attached to the variable, which is x. This is a constant, the 5. These chunks of the problem separated by plus and minus signs are called terms. There's 1, 2 terms in this side of the expression. When I cover this up and there's no equal sign, this is an expression. So when there's no equal sign, there's an expression. As soon as I put the equal sign on there, it becomes an equation. What we do with the expressions is we simplify them. And what we do with equations is we solve them. So that is your introduction to our new unit, which is linear equations.